mind. He's over.
Well, I was going door to door. You didn't know.
I didn't know they were coming.
But I want to thank you for putting a sign up front.
Yeah.
You know, and you're on a busy street, so it is appreciated.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I thought about putting it on the tree out there, because it kind of looks kind of hokey on my mailbox, you know. But the wind was blowing it down and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, we could take care of it if it's getting...
Okay, what were you going to ask me now?
Well, you were talking about the crime and car break-ins.
Yeah, there's been car break-ins down the street.
On 3rd?
Yeah. People in back have had their houses broken into.
That's terrible.
This street is like not taken care of at all. It's not cleaned up ever. You know?
Which is not right, because it is our main street.
Yeah,
out of town.
it really makes
It's the first
Turner
impression.
look. Yeah, exactly.
Dumpy,
Dumpy,
yes,
like
thank
Turner's
you.
a slum.
And it's
you know?
not.
No,
It's not.
And all the cars that go racing through here. I had a police officer. I was talking to him one day. I called him for some reason, and he finally came out 4 or 5 hours later, and we talked.
4 or 5 hours later?
Oh yeah, I have a friend here.
So you called,
I
and
have
4
a-
or 5 hours later,
I
you
have
finally
a-
showed up.
Friend here in Turner that called the cops and they never came.
Now it's not the chief's fault. I know he's spread really thin. He's a good man, and he's doing the best he can. I think he just needs some help, but that's terrible. There's no excuse for that.
I don't know why, you know, if he just couldn't do it or what happened, but we do need more cops, evidently.
And it's in the we can afford it.
Yeah.
They try and say we can't, but that's just simply not true.
We need more police officers. People go flying through here, and I'm telling you, I know that they're going sometimes 70,
Oh, no.
you know, miles an hour or so, and the police,
Nothing happens till somebody gets killed.
Yeah.
And then it's too late.
And then one day I just was walking out the front door, and not my next door neighbor, but the one after, and over in that duplex over there. I don't know if he was mad or what, but he backed up his pickup onto the highway, and he burnt rubber like you would not believe.
Uh-oh.
And he pulled it out right into the oncoming traffic.
Oh, no.
And I walked out the door at the same time that was happening.
Oh, no.
And a white car was coming that way, and it was so close to being a head-on collision. And, you know,
We do need to slow the traffic down.
I called the cops, turned him in. I know that.
Well, as you
he
should. I
didn't- he
mean,
didn't
something's
get,
not right.
He didn't get a ticket, and I told his wife or girlfriend, I called the cops.
Well, as you should. I mean,
And
it shouldn't be doing
Because he almost, he was so close to causing a head-on
Major.
collision. And that car just went around him really fast.
that. Yeah.
And he's kind of slowed it down a little bit since then.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But he was really bad. But we just need more patrols in the area. Yeah, I have a friend, and I'm not going to use her name, but she told me yesterday, I've called the cops and they never came.
Oh, wow.
And she's right in town.
Well, there's no excuse. I mean, do we have law and order, or we don't have law and order?
Yeah.
I mean, we should have law and order.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what happens when you don't have law and order? Then you've got all this craziness going on, and people getting hurt and killed, and
Yeah.
we don't want Turner to become just another statistic.
We don't want Turner becoming Salem.
No. No.
I used to live in California.
People need to feel safe in their home,
Yes.
and a lot of times they don't.
Well, I'll tell you, my doors are always locked, big time. Both.
You kind of have to nowadays,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, you do.
What are other concerns? I mean, so the traffic, the speed.
The trash.
It seems like the growth is not being regulated. It seems like they get to do whatever they want.
Well,
which is going to bring more traffic, more speeders,
Well,
more
yeah,
crime.
I don't know how you stop growth because the population.
Well, I'm not saying
keeps-
stop growth, but we as a community, for instance, I had some elderly people at the retirement home. They're like, well, it would be nice if we could have a bus ride to the local baseball game when they have one. And I'm like, Well, that sounds reasonable to me. We've already got the bus.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. They're not doing these things.
Okay, I can see that where a lot of, yes, I think a lot of seniors get shut in.
And it seems like they've gotten forgotten.
Yeah, and
really, honestly, it's sad. It is sad.
I'm still driving. I can get up and leave when I want to.
Good.
So far, but I know there's a lot of shut-ins.
And that's not right. And there's no access for them. I mean, there's 2 flights of stairs to get up to the city hall meeting, unless they've gotten an elevator hiding in the closet I don't know about, and they've got no access to these meetings. And so one of the things that we're going to do is, in conjunction with YouTube and the online tools and things like that, we've already discussed this, a couple of computers, some internet access. And did you know that each one of those residents in there, they're having to pay for their own Wi-Fi? I mean, there are wireless routers, and I don't know why they don't have a wireless router to provide everybody in there with internet so they can, participate in these city council meetings.
That would be nice.
Exactly. That's what I think. And our elderly folks should not be forgotten because of their life experiences, besides the fact it's just mean and cruel. And their information that they have, the knowledge, the life experiences that they have, and the wisdom.
Yes.
And anybody would be a fool not to want to hear what that information is, what their wisdom is.
That's right.
And I listen whenever I can, because I like to learn from them. And that just makes good common sense anyway. But not only that, it's a good Christian thing to do. I mean, we're all going to get there at some point.
Yeah, we are.
And we don't want to be forgotten either.
And all of a sudden, you wake up one morning and you say, I'm there.
Yeah, right. Because I always try and treat other people how I want to be treated. And I put myself in their shoes. Well, how do you want to, what do you feel about it? And that kind of stuff. And then you get another perspective, which I think is helpful. The ball field needs some improvements. The kids, because that's the other thing and see, this is a contributor for crime that is not being addressed right now, is what happens if you have kids idle, with idle time? What happens?
Trouble.
They get in trouble.
Yeah, they do.
It's been that way since the beginning and still that way now. So we need something for them to do.
Yeah.
And that's where the teen center comes in, these kinds of activities for them. And so if you're building all these houses over there, on Turner Road, and then they want Westwood subdivision, what's going to happen with all the kids?
Yeah.
These are families. They have children.
Yes,
they can't pretend that the city council and the mayor can't pretend there's no kids involved.
Yes, I think that would be a real good idea to have. Yes.
They should not be shut in their room playing video games.
Well, it's not
it's
not like it used to be. We used to be able to go out into the backyard or in the field or whatever and play. It's not there anymore. They're kind of locked into their house, and it's kind of dangerous to be running around outside on the streets by themselves.
Yeah.
Every time I see a kid walking along the street by himself, whether it be here or in town,
Makes you kind of wonder, huh?
It makes me wonder. I hope he's going to be all right, or she.
Yeah.
There's too much human traffickers going.
And it's just crazy. And did you know Portland is a real hot spot for that?
Well,
it's one of the worst in the nation, and it's only 60 miles away.
I-5.
And I-5.
That's where that's coming from. It comes from the border.
I just can't even imagine.
And it comes through California.
I can't even imagine.
All the way through Oregon, up into Portland, and going into Washington.
It wasn't too long ago. There was a 12-year-old girl in Salem. I don't know if you heard about it on the news. She went up to take the garbage out one morning and then disappeared. That was it. She's gone. Just taking the trash out in Salem.
I believe it. I do believe it.
And I don't think she's been found. And that was 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Yeah, and I could lay you odds that's probably what's happened to the little girl that's missing. That you see on TV.
It's going to happen in Turner if we're not careful.
Oh, yes, it will.
So I started TurnerTimesOnline.com.
Okay.
And local newspaper, because a lot of people are really interested. The children are in sports at Cascade, and they want to know what's going on. And so this gives them another avenue another thing for them to do that's positive, and also brings them good life experiences with journalism, photography, interviewing people, things like that. And they can get school credits for it. So that's another project that I've started.
Good deal. Yeah.
Because everybody likes to hear, and it's kind of nice to see your child in the paper and get some notoriety, makes them a little bit famous in town. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
it's a good thing.
Give
it's
them
positive.
self-confidence.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's one thing I've started already. And it's available online, and we want to have it start getting printed out. So, I just do what I can. I care about this small town. I'm actually moved here from Salem, and to get away from the crime and the drug dealing and the homelessness. We had over there by the center market, a guy came over, and he was a homeless guy wandering around, and he had a marijuana cigarette tucked in his ear, and he was asking for cigarettes and begging for change. I mean, we don't need that around here.
No, we don't.
I mean, I feel for everybody, and I get it. Sometimes people fall on hard times, but there are things available, not in Turner. I mean,
we have got such a drug problem here in Oregon, and the human traffickers here in Oregon. I know there's a lot of it, and I know that.
I mean, the foster care system is just terrible, and they have children in motel rooms. And did you hear about that? I mean, that's nothing we can address on the local level. Well, maybe we can. We can involve. Who used to handle that kind of stuff? The churches.
Yeah.
Before we got the government involved. Every time we get the government involved, what do? They take 2 or 3 times longer, and it costs at least twice as much. And they don't do as good a job. Why not involve people that are involved in that? They want to be involved in it, and they're doing it because they're Christian. They love doing it. They want to help their fellow man, woman, children. They want to help out. I mean, that's the way it used to be. If you go back, 60 years? I don't know. When the churches used to handle that kind of stuff with the children.
Well, it was the church one day. Well, I already knew that there was a lot of human traffickers up and down I-5, but they even brought that up at church. Yeah, when this guy was talking.
Yeah, I had no idea until
he brought that
probably
up
6
in
months
church,
ago.
That human traffickers are really getting bad.
It's not something that you hear about a lot in the media.
That's why you don't want to leave your kids, male or female.
You can't.
No, you don't want them playing out in the front yard or something where there's not fenced in. You gotta.
I got a big dog.
Good. Good deal.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I mean, I know the people at Pet Village. I've known Ray Reed. He started the business, and he provides all of the police canine dog units for Marion County as well as other areas. And he's since passed away, and his son and daughter, Jennifer and Ryan, run the business now, and they do a great job. And I would like to utilize, they would give me a good deal so that we can get a canine unit for our town. I think we need 2 of them.
Sure. Absolutely.
Now, they're normally pretty expensive, but I had somebody telling me, you've always got naysayers, right? No matter where you go. And it's like, my philosophy is this. You're either part of the problem or you're either, if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem.
Amen to that.
Yes. Thank you.
And there's a lot of Christians I know that don't vote.
Well, they should.
They should vote. It's their responsibility to vote.
It is a responsibility. It is a responsibility.
Yes,
but those dogs are normally pretty expensive, and honestly, Turner can't afford a full price thing on that. But they would give us a good deal. I know they would.
If you lose a child to somebody, traffickers or whatever, kidnappers, what's more expensive, having a dog or more cops, or having a child missing? I know we still use water to wash our hands.
And then the garbage, they just increased the garbage rate again. You probably got a letter in the mail about that.
Yes, I did.
And the thing that's not right about that is if you're late on your garbage bill, the late fee that they charge you is about 40% of the bill. And that's not right. If somebody's struggling financially, I think it's wrong, and it's preying upon people that have had bad luck thrown their way. And to give them yet another bill because they're in trouble in the first place, that's just not a Christian thing to do, And, the city council does have a say in the garbage bills. You know, I've been to several of the meetings, obviously, and the garbage guy, he's always there, so it won't be hard for me to talk to him. You know. So.
I have forgotten to pay my bill, and I realized, oh my goodness, I'm
They give
late.
you a late.
And so I'll just call them up and put it on my credit card because I forgot, you know.
But if you look at the statement, the late fee is pretty high.
Yeah.
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 Up on the hill, this doesn't affect you, but you know, for some reason, they approved the development to come in there, and they didn't require that they put street lights in. They didn't require that they put sidewalks in, so consequently there's no curb. So if you've got a child walking alongside the road, there's nothing preventing the car from just plowing right into them.
Yeah.
And then so now they wanted to charge, the city proposed, and I think this is dead wrong, and their taxes would go from $450 per house to $2,000 to pay for a sidewalk. And it's like, this should have been handled already. I mean, I don't know of any developments that get approved where the homeowner 20 years after the fact has to pay for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair. And then you walk up there at night and it's dark, like you're in the woods. And that's not good either.
It would be.
And because the thing is, you know, if somebody's wanting to do crime, then that's where they're going to go.
That's right.
Where there's no light.
That's right.
And
evil works in the dark too.
Yeah. And then there's like the few street lights that I did see. If you go to another neighborhood, they do have some street lights, but I've never seen a street light that dim. It's like the builder, he chose the cheapest thing he could get and put in, and barely has any light coming out. So I think all of that needs to change, and I'm going to do what I can to make that change.
Good.
And it all ties in with public safety. So
I remember, I don't know, this probably doesn't have anything to do, doesn't have anything to do with you guys, I guess, or Turner, I guess, but it was a couple of years ago. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm almost asleep, and I heard this unwretched, ungodly noise outside. It was a jackhammer, and they were right by my mailbox.
Oh my God.
And just about...
You're not allowed to do that at night.
Yeah, it was really late, and wake everybody up.
Who was doing it?
Marion County. They put that square out there, and they check it now. It's right by the mailbox. Man, I came out there, they had lights going and stuff, and I came out there in my robe. My hair's all messed up.
Yeah.
Well,
as you should. I mean, that's not...
I said, I know it's not your fault, because you're just a worker, but you know what? This is wrong. We're the ones that pay your guys' wages.
Yes.
And I got on the phone the next day, and I think it was the commissioner I talked to. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I chewed his butt too.
Somebody got in trouble.
Yeah, they did. I didn't mince any words.
Did they leave? I mean, once you went out there,
no.
They kept on going, huh?
No, they kept on going.
Yeah, by law, they're supposed to stop. I don't know exactly what time it is, but I know. I know it's way before that.
Well, you know, we're used to people working on the highways and roads around here during the daytime. It holds up traffic. I guess that's just the way it is, you know. And then we do that all the time. It's part of our life, but not in the middle of the night.
No.
That was really raunchy thing to do, but that was from Marion County, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Well, there is hope for Turner, and we can do it. It does take people involved, such as yourself. Otherwise, change wouldn't happen. You know, my saying is, you know, we get the government we deserve. I think I mentioned that. And basically, if people don't get involved and they don't do anything, then the powers that be assume that they're happy, or maybe they don't even care. Who knows? But you know, nothing changes then in that case. And that's why I'm running, and that's why I decided, you know, because I have had some people ask me, well, why are you doing the write-in thing? And it's like, well, the reason I'm doing the write-in thing is because I called the city ahead of time. And they go, oh yeah, several people came in and looks like they're going to be filing. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. And I didn't go into a big lengthy conversation because I figured I'll just, you know, wait and see who it's going to be, and then I'll go talk to that person directly. And then I was actually planning on helping their campaign if I felt that they were going to solve the issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my voter's guide in the mail, and lo and behold, there's nobody there.
Yeah, I know.
So I called the city right up, and she goes, "Oh, well, no, that's not what we told you. We told you that people had picked up information." And I'm like, "Well, that's not the impression I got." So once again, we have more miscommunication coming out of City Hall.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm running, and things are going to happen anyway.
Well,
Because I'm determined.
I don't have anything at all against, the mayor and the
Right, he's a nice man.
Oh, he's a very nice man, but I do have issues with this end of town that's been forgotten.
Exactly.
Forgotten.
And I agree with you there.
That's how I see it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So I see it too.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I was in the military.
Yeah,
And then when I was
Richard was in the Air Force too.
Well, thank you for your service, sir.
He used to work.
I was in the Air Force, and I was in the Boy Scouts before that, and the Webelos before that, and so we just always do that. I mean, it's like you leave a place cleaner than how you found it. You do nice things for your neighbors, and I took that stuff seriously, and I still do to this day.
Richard used to work on Air Force 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, he was Andrews Air Force Base and worked there.
Nice.
And he was a flight mechanic, almost called him a surgeon. Flight.
Well, you almost got to be sometimes. Everything's super clean and everything else.
He was a flight mechanic for a long time while he was in the military, and then when he retired, he just stayed there at Andrews, and they still.
I was a helicopter mechanic.
Oh, really? So you guys got a lot in common.
My job wasn't as specialized as yours, but I was a crew chief.
Yeah.
We did rescue up in Alaska. I was stationed in Alaska. People get in the woods or get lost and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Oh.
So Carol, you were talking about how there's so much garbage out in front of your house, and nobody from the city seemed to do anything about it.
It was all up and down the whole road.
So what did you do?
I finally just went out there. I got mad.
Yeah, because it was so bad.
Yes. I was pretty angry about it, and I went out there with a great big trash bag, and I filled it all the way to City Hall from my house.
Wow!
It was so full of stuff that I couldn't tie a knot in the top of it.
And that's a lot of weight for you to carry.
Yes, it was. It was
too much.
Hurting my back. And I gave it to City Hall. Like, no. This is your
trash. Get the point across.
This is your trash.
Somebody should be doing this.
That's right.
I can't do it all the time.
And so I gave it to him, and he took it. I surprised him. I don't remember who it was, but it's some nice man. But then I said, now, do you have a big bag? Because I got to clean the other side on the way home.
Oh, wow.
And I did, and it was so big that it wouldn't fit in my trash can.
No,
and
you
so
shouldn't have to pay to dispose of it.
So
either.
I took it down to Western Interiors, and they said I could dump it in their dumpster.
Yeah, but it's too much for you to do, and that's.
And I cleaned it for a long time after that. Every time I'd go for a walk, and I went for a walk a lot of times, and I'd clean it. And then Grady Clemens, he would clean the other side from Delaney into town, and I would clean from Delaney on this way. We've tried to keep it clean, but here lately.
I think we need to post more signs and have like a fine if they throw litter out there.
To that. And then have the police officers around to ticket them if they do.
And the mill needs to help us too, because a lot of times it's people that work for them.
Oh my, great big sheets of plastic would blow around, and nobody picks it up. They just let it blow.
And this is not a truck stop. This town is not a truck stop town. I mean,
right across from City Hall.
And nobody's doing anything.
Nobody cares. It came from.
Well, I care.
Well, and I went over there and I picked it all up and I threw it in their yard. That's what I did. But the strapping, big gobs of plastic sheets and stuff, and what a mess!
Yeah.
What a mess!
I'll take care of it.
Good. Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
When we go for a walk, it would seem like we were in a nice town instead of a slum.
Well, that's what it needs to be. Again, we did it before, we can do it again.
Yes, good. Otherwise, it's going to start looking like Tijuana. You think I'm kidding? Have you ever been there?
Yes, unfortunately, I drove through.
It's not where you want to stop.
No. Well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a lot going on today, and I
Yeah, I gotta
appreciate
go to
you
work.
sitting down and talking with me. And
Yeah, I gotta go to work.
that's a wrap.